Hype. This token right now is outperforming Bitcoin, Solana, Sui, ETH, and it's probably likely to continue to outperform because it's just doing things so damn well. So in this video, we're going to go over what is Hyperliquid, what is a token, how did it start, how did they make people worth hundreds of thousands of dollars from the airdrop alone, and then the value of you actually getting in right now with the token being around $40. So let's dive in. Before we go any further, nothing is financial advice. We have done our research. Watch this to the end. There's just so much research in here, which makes the conviction a lot easier. You may have seen on Twitter people talking about get 100 hype and stake it. You've been told, and then they remind you a month later when hype goes up. But this video actually complements all those bull posting tweets because it tells you why this is so damn amazing. So let's dive in. So this is a DEX that looks like a sex, okay? There's not a lot of competition out there in terms of performance. There is competition from many other elements, Jupiter, Flash Trade, Drift, Zeta Markets rebounded to Bullet, Fogo Chain. Fogo Chain and Bullet may be actual contenders. We'll have to wait and see. But this is what we can do over here. We can do perps, so leverage, and we can do spot as well. And they list a lot of different tokens. And it's done on an Ethereum virtual machine. Official Twitter is here. Give them a follow, Hyperliquid X. They did have, they also have another one for their foundation, but it was breached recently and all the posts were deleted. So I wouldn't worry about that one for now. Official website is hyperfoundation.org. What I want to point out here is no investors, no paid market makers, no fees to any company. No investors, we'll cover this a little bit later, but I mean, the people that, they didn't get any VC vesting, so VC investing. So what they did instead is they just bootstrapped it with their own funds. But it's got all the right things going with it. If we have a quick look at the Explorer, you can see it's a fast performant blockchain with all these transactions just going through like crazy. And this is not completely accurate. All the links will be below because it doesn't include all the other DEXs or SEXs. But you can clearly see that Binance, the vast majority, then Bybit, the other number one and number two, and then Hyperliquid. OKX is also quite big. A couple others are Bitfinex. I'm unsure how they do when compared to this, but the top two and Hyperliquid is certainly a threat to them. Some people are saying that the reason why, like the people on Hyperliquid that have been trading, like James Wynn, that basically put a portfolio up to $100 million and then just shot it down again, was because people like Binance and Bybit, whales and founders and VCs and whatnot were just hunting their losses, hunting their stop losses in order to pull attention back to these platforms. The thing with these platforms is the only people that knows on Binance and Bybit who has an order on are the actual exchanges. No, it's not public. Now, one massive reason why this was such a crazy amount of success was the airdrop. The airdrop was massive. I didn't get anything. I didn't use it at all. I was silly. This was the largest airdrop. Hyperliquid average airdrop of 28,500 per person. Hype popularity brings in a new gold rush. And this was like, if you held it, now it's $40. CC2 actually made 800,000 hype, which, remember, hype continued to go up and up and up. And he ended up just retiring because he hasn't been active on Twitter. Like nothing has come out this year, and was just doing absolutely wonderful with his LPing and yield farming and airdrop hunting. And then bam, out of there, which is quite interesting. I mean, look, you got to know, well, he's still replying, but nothing since March. If you want to have a look at the actual Genesis launch of the token, you can check it out. But the biggest thing to keep in mind is 31% was done as a Genesis distribution, which is good because so many tokens and create so many dApps with the token go and create everything, and they go and give out 10% initial supply or something like a really small float. Small float, high FDV. This was the meta of the previous cycle, which made VCs and those smart really, really rich. Everyone else, they just got dumped on. So the tokenomics are pretty damn epic. In terms of lockups, we don't have like the perfect amount of data because I just don't see any perfect data when it comes to locked up tokens. But we can see 31% is unlocked, and then the next unlock is 0.02%, and then, well, some is untracked. But my understanding of all this is you can see here in the untracked, just for full transparency, future admissions, and community rewards, Hyper Foundation, and community grants. So we're not talking about core contributors being given a massive amount that they can then dump on you. What we're seeing is smaller amounts of the tokens starting to be unlocked from November. And so we're at 31% right now. And if we go from November, check this out at 31%, and we just scroll on down until June next year, that's an additional 5%. So nothing too insane, to be perfectly honest with you. But keep in mind, there's always going to be unlocks. Now, it's good to have a look at DeFi Llama, and we can see how well it's doing in terms of its fees and revenue. We've got Tether as a kind of the goats in terms of the fees, and they make a whole lot of money. PancakeSwap's doing well. Meteor is doing very, very well with the fees in the last 30 days, almost 200 million. Pump is down, it was doing very well. Jupiter's down here, and go down a little bit further, we can see fees here, 820,000 in the last 24 hours, but $69 million in the last 30 days. So, sorry, you can see that now. It's doing well. Now this says this is trade fees and ticket auction proceeds. No, this excludes the HLP Vault and HyperEVM fees. We'll touch on this a little bit in a second. But once again, we've done the best research we can. We cannot track everything because we're just relying on third-party tools, and not everything's completely accurate. Now, in terms of the team, I think a lot of people already know who the team is because this project's been building for a few years. But this is the doc with the team, and there aren't too many people worth following, but Jeff probably is, jeff.hl. Hyperliquid X, building a pretty good layer 1. And then this person is also building, but they have no posts. This one here, they have some posts. And this is very important because I just want to refer to this just now. So we're going to cover this more in the second video, but the Hyperliquid blockchain is composed of Hypercore and the HyperEVM. Hypercore is the perp stacks, which I just showed you. HyperEVM is, equivalent of like base chain or Binance chain, something like that. Focus today is on Hypercore. Hypercore is where most of the attention is. So even though in the next video, we're going to cover all the airdrops from the HyperEVM, still suggesting if you're going to do trading, you probably want to be trading up here because you're probably going to be rewarded, to be perfectly honest. HyperDash, let's have a quick look at the statistics, see if it loads for us. Here we are. So you can see the fees, sizable, like 7-day fees, 12 million, 30-day, 55 million. Most of the fees go to the assistance fund, which is a protocol fund that receives a portion of trading fees and is to buy back the hype tokens. This is why the token goes up as well. It's like this beautiful loop. Doesn't go on forever necessarily, but it's going on right now, and that's why we're covering it. Then we've got a small amount of fees which go to the HLP protocol vault, which we'll cover, and they do market making. This has like a yield of around 10%, nothing too crazy. Back to DeFi Llama so we can have a look at the revenue. This is where they're doing better. This is percentage of swap fees going to treasury and or token holders. Once again, don't have all the details, but you can see like it's number 9 out of everything. As an example, having a look at something like Meteor, which we covered before, their revenue is far smaller because yes, it's producing a whole lot of fees. Sorry, let's bring this up so you can see it. Yes, it's producing a whole lot of fees, but most of the fees go to the LPs, but they're still doing pretty damn well. And Meteor is damn good as well. Now, in terms of the actual EVM and its TPS and all that sort of stuff, it is cheap, but it's not like crazy cheap. And you can see this is what it is here. When you're using the EVM, you actually pay with gas using Hype. And the block time, we'll give it a refresh to make sure it hasn't changed, but it's an average of a second. So it's not actually super fast. And transactions, very little attention is happening over there right now on the EVM, which is potentially why the second video to watch should be worthwhile because you're early. Now, one thing that has been said is max of TPS of 200,000 and block time of 0.07. This is not what we're seeing right now. So just to keep that in mind, that's not what it is. And it's not this either. But what it is it's going faster and faster, or at least it's getting a lot more users as well. Now, when you have stake or when you want to stake, I suggest having a search for Nansen because maybe there's some sort of airdrop in the future with that. There it is there. Nansen and Hypercollective, going and staking with them. This is a blockchain that you can stake with. And when you stake with them, you can do it all from within this, which we can do a tutorial on. You can enter into your portfolio. You can go into your staking. It's all done from this. It's far more like a Binance kind of centralized exchange appeal, which is very appealing to people. It's far easier to learn than the whole on-chain everything. They do have a points program, which my expectation is will get you another airdrop. It will not be as big as a Genesis allocation because, that dropped at $1, $2, or even, essentially valueless, and it just climbed up and now it's $40, but it's probably still going to be worth your time, providing you're a profitable trader as well. You don't want to trade for the sake of losing money. So it doesn't matter how many points you think you have, you cannot visually see them right here, but they have a points program. Now, when you're actually going to stake your tokens, you have to be aware there is an unstaking time. So when you first stake, it's a 1-day lockup, and then you can unstake. And if you, during this delegation period, you've got 1 day, and then if you want to unstake, it's a 7-day unstaking queue. Then you can transfer your hype from your staking balance to your spot balance if you want to sell it. Of course, I hope you know how to hedge. If hype goes up to $60 and you think, well, this is where I want to take profits, if you have some more capital, you can just go and put a short position on, initiate the unstake, and then just make sure you don't get liquidated, and then you'll be delta neutral. And yeah, if the price goes down, well, you still made money. If the price goes up, you still got $60 per token, but that's pretty obvious. You want to learn more about the staking aspects, you can read through this. I don't think anyone will, but let you know that it is in fact possible. Now, one thing is, and I don't think this is going to be you unless you've got a lot of hype, but Hype Stakers received an Anime airdrop as part of their TG. I don't think Anime did very well, unfortunately. And maybe in the future, there'll be more going to these Hype Stakers in order to try and attract attention. Maybe that will happen. Who knows? Now, when you have a look into your portfolio page, you can see your funding rate, your P&L, all your positions, everything, the volume as well. So it's very, very easy to see. Like, it's not a complex thing. It still can do with a tutorial, which we can cover, but this is just getting you to dip your feet in. You can also go and put funds into vaults. So if you want to jump into the HLP vault, which I would not suggest because it's earning less than 10% APR, that is not very massive, to be perfectly honest. Alternatively, like, you could go into the JLP or HLP on Solana vaults. You can see you can also go into other people's vaults, which is really, really cool. Like if Sifu's going to keep on doing well, you can go and deposit in here, deposit some money. We've got maximum of $3, and it's a lockup of 1 day. And then they earn a fee, and the vault, it shows the vault performance. They earn a fee, 10%, and then you can also withdraw if they are profitable. So it's very cool to have these sort of things. You can basically back a trader. It's in the best interest for a trader to do well, but remember, they don't always. There's someone called Rectober that has lost millions on this by just being crazy. Now, there is a fee system as well, and if you are bullish on this, you can stake from the same account that you trade from, which is pretty unique because, like, if you're staking on Solana, as an example, you stake your Sol, you stake with validator.com, of course. This would typically be on a ledger, and if it's on a ledger, you wouldn't trade with it. You'd normally use like a different account. You can still do this similar approach over here, but if on Hyperliquid, you want to have your staked hype on the same wallet that you're actually trading with. And you can see like your tier here, the perps fee tiers in terms of what fees and the spot fees. And if you want a discount, just stake. Obviously diamond, probably not going to happen, but you could probably get to bronze, wood or bronze, and you'd be golden. And in terms of the way to volume, look, I wouldn't go anything crazy. Look, try to be a profitable trader if you're going to trade. That would be the number one bit of non-financial advice. Now, I can't find everything that I want to find out on Messari. As an example, how is the team compensated? It seems as though they're compensated via just like hype tokens, the hype token going up in value, and then they get unlocks and they can sell them. So unsure exactly how it all works. That part I just don't have all the information on. The other thing is, pretty damn soon, Infinex will be available as Infinex Connect, which will allow you to connect easily, I'm pretty sure. Infinex Connect is also going to work with Fogo Chain, which, as you may know, I'm bullish on. But for Hyperliquid, there's no harm in trying different places, backing different horses. Right now, Hype is the fastest horse out there, and it's probably worth backing because of that. That's a bit of an overview. I think it's worth learning. I'm sorry I didn't cover it earlier, but I hope this has condensed it all. And in the next video, we're going to go over a couple of things. We're actually going to have 2 more videos. One's going to be how high can Hype go? The second one will be discussing the HyperEVM, the pros and the cons, and the different airdrop opportunities out there. Thanks very much for watching. Catch you in the next video. Cheers.